Corruption in Papua New Guinea still high. Chinese cigarette makers to appear in court. And government eyeing electronic voting for 2022.
This is National EMTV News with Meriba Tulo.
A very good evening. This is Wednesday's news. Thank you for joining us. Papua New Guinea is ranked 138 out of 180 countries classified as highly corrupt. In the latest Corruption Perception Index, PNG scored 28 out of 100, which is in the bracket of highly corrupt nations. Transparency International PNG says sincere, honest and real effort is needed by citizens, the public sector, businesses and political leaders to protect the democracy of Papua New Guinea.
To the democratic system.
Yesterday, Transparency International PNG launched the 2018 Corruption Perceptions Index in the nation's capital. An event that takes place all around the world, the CPI shows a link between corruption and the health of democracies, where countries with higher rates of corruption also have weaker democratic institutions and political rights.
The perceived level of public sector corruption is on a scale of 0 to 1, where 0 means that a country is perceived as highly corrupt, and where 100 means the country is perceived as very clean. In the 2018 CPI, there was a measurement of 180 countries, and it used up to 13 different data sources.
Papua New Guinea has been classified as one of the most highly corrupt countries in the world, with a score of 28 out of 100. In the last 5 years, PNG has remained between the scores of 25 to 29, marking the country as highly corrupt. Although the rankings have changed, it is important to note that the number of countries that are included in the CPI do not remain the same every year.
The magnificent countries, the home of magnificent people, this place which could be so good if it only decided it is going to be, year after year after year, we find we've gone nowhere. We haven't been able to lift our act to rise above that level down near the bottom of the list.
TIPNG acknowledges that PNG has some of the best laws in the world, but the biggest problem continues to be lack of enforcement of these laws.
And because people feel they're not going to be caught, they continue to do what they wish, and many people are robbed, and great damage is done.
When corruption oozes into the democratic system, democratic institutions that keep the government in line suffer. TIPNG says PNG's low score should put greater attention on preventing corruption and promoting integrity in dealings from the business sector.
Papua New Guinea's democracy also means protecting freedom of speech, and we've seen attacks on that, and the right to protest, and ensuring the independence of the institutions and provide checks and balances such as the judiciary, the police and the media.
Lilian Sopera Kenea, National EMTV News.
The Chinese nationals implicated in what has been described as the production of illegal cigarettes in Port Moresby will have their case mentioned at the Waigani Committal Court this Friday. This follows a police raid which led to the shocking discovery of cartons of illegal cigarettes being manufactured and repacked for reselling out of a residential community just outside Port Moresby city limits. While police and a number of law enforcement officers were on site to inspect the premises, PNG Customs came out 3 days later saying the Chinese company was licensed to operate.
Police have discovered that a Chinese company operating from a rented-out room at Kennedy Estate were manufacturing illegal cigarettes and reselling it to customers throughout the country. Despite obtaining a search warrant, police and other law enforcement agencies were denied entry into the premises for at least 3 hours last Friday. When police raided the storeroom last Friday, they discovered machines used for manufacturing cigarettes and a large amount of cigarettes ready for distribution. All these items were confiscated by police and held as case exhibits. However, the Chinese company have obtained a restraining order preventing any further investigations.
Production of these illegal cigarettes is seized by the National Drug and Vice Squad with the assistance of the mobile squad, which was done yesterday upon a search warrant which was executed by us. And we came across this product and the machines that you have seen.
But yesterday, PNG Customs Commissioner Ray Paul announced that this particular Chinese company was given a license under the Customs Act to operate a warehouse. However, no documents were provided to verify what PNG Customs has claimed.
The company has complied with customs regulations. We've issued them customs license to operate. They've been importing, and only this year they intend to go into manufacturing. And they've approached customs, and we've given them license to operate as a business. Unfortunately, what has happened is something that we were not aware of, and we were only told, the officers were only told, since it was a customs control area, our officers were allowed to go in to open the premises for them to have a look at what is in there.
The announcement that this company was operating legally came as a surprise for other law enforcing agencies that were present during the raid. While the Customs Commissioner is calling for a joint effort by law enforcing agencies in addressing illegal trade in the country, the police, National Narcotics Bureau and immigrations are already working together to minimize such activities. Thekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
To Parliament now, and the government is eyeing the use of electronic voting in the 2022 national elections. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill says Common Roll update and other preparations will commence soon. Rigo MP Lekwa Gure demanded answers as to whether the government had the capacity to use electronic voting and counting come 2022.
With the 2022 national elections not so far away, government's plan to use electronic voting and counting has already been questioned. Rigo MP Lekwa Gure is furious how the government and responsible state agencies will change from the LPV system to electronic.
Is the government firmly committed to electronic voting and electronic counting, which has been done very successfully in countries like India, where you have 800 million voters?
Gure also expressed concerns of the LPV system and the challenges. He says if the country is hoping to use electronic voting and counting, when will planning begin and by whom?
When will the Electoral Commission acquire the necessary technology, train the staff, and put in a plan to migrate from the current manual voting system to the electronic voting system that the country will use in the 2022 national elections? Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill assured the floor that work will commence in mid-2019. He says the Electoral Commission and state will be adapting techniques used by India.
We have sent a team of Papua New Guineans led by the Electoral Commission to India, and they have first-hand witnessed the election in India, and also they've seen the discussions with the Electoral Commission of India to adapt the system here in PNG. And I can assure the good member that yes, as government, we are committed to that.
With much criticism of the use of the LPV system, PM O'Neill believes electronic voting and counting is the solution for a free, fair and safe election.
That is why it is important that we start early so that the integrity of the system is tested and that people are able to have confidence in the system that we are going to introduce.
Only time will tell when all this will be implemented. Jack Lapave Jr., National EMTV News.
The prolonged review of the tax credit scheme was questioned in Parliament today. Gulf Governor Chris Haiveta directed the question to Planning Minister Richard Marrow on the progress of this review.
If you're ready, can you also give assurance to this House and to the people of Papua New Guinea that government will, after tabling the report and issuing the guidelines, be ready to receive and implement projects or take applications for tax credit scheme?
We have completed the review and revised our guidelines. It's now in NEC. I'm hoping that this week or next week NEC will clear the guidelines, the revised guidelines. We will print the booklets and have it ready for the Prime Minister to relaunch the new look tax credit scheme during the Leaders Summit in March.
The 3.6 billion kina in electricity supply agreements signed during APEC were carried in Parliament today. Maprik MP John Simon questioned if the project was real and how this massive project would be implemented and who would benefit from it. Australia, New Zealand, the United States and Japan signed the agreement.
It's been 2 months since Port Moresby hosted the 21 APEC leaders. Today, the electrification agreement was raised in Parliament.
If this partnership is a serious commitment in part of our partner with Australia, New Zealand, US and Japan in terms of this final commitment of 3.6 and 300 million kina every year for this for the electrification program. One. And if you can confirm, when will the first project under this partnership be launched?
As a part of the Medium-Term Development Plan 2018 to 2030, the government hopes to increase the number of households having access to electricity from 30% to 70%. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, responding to the question, said the agreement signed between PNG, US, Australia, New Zealand and Japan during APEC was to fulfill the Medium-Term Development Plan vision, and funds are currently being mobilized.
And of course, I've had discussions with the Australian government and correspondents from the United States government and commitments from the New Zealand government that they are now mobilizing funds.
The Prime Minister further stated that Wapanamanda in Enga province will be the first to have a power station set up through the agreement.
The first lot, I think we are going up to Sac Valley in Wapanamanda district in Enga province, connecting up to 5,000 houses. I'm told that 5,000 houses funded fully.
A supplementary question was raised by East Sepik Governor Alan Bird whether the agreement was more geopolitically motivated.
As far as I understand, programs are normally generated from within our own institutions, planning, PNG Power and so on and so forth. This particular project, these countries, US, Japan, Naulgeta, only give him Lomipla because of the geopolitics in the region. Mipla igo lean to mas pasantap lo China, because lo desla. These countries have given this project because Mipla no initiate him. I mean, no come through the system, Mipla. Only at the kisim na give him lo balance in China. Can the Prime Minister confirm, please?
The Prime Minister responded, saying that the country needs all development partners and it's not a time to be isolated. Adelaide Stuart Skari, National EMTV News.
Minister responsible for APEC, Jasin Chechenko, has announced that the final report of the 2018 APEC summit will be tabled in Parliament soon. He brushed aside figures published on social media. Meanwhile, a supplementary question was raised by Moresby Northwest MP Semekere Morauta for the report to include funding and resources donated by development partners.
The contributions made by the foreign governments and friends, because they are related, and consultants. So make it as full as you can. May I just add also that just prior to APEC approval, IMF, in talking to government, reported that government's budget was 3 billion.
Now the process is going forward anyway, and we'll have a report, and it will be complete. It will completely show that the APEC event and summit was an absolute success, and was not 5 billion spent, as Samekeri Murata said, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's 10 times less than that.
You're watching National EMTV News. We'll be back with more of today's news after these messages. Stay tuned.
Are you looking for something to chew?
Yes, I am. But it's more difficult to find something to chew.
Not to chew something.
Me no kai kai boy, me kai kai PK
The Jumbo Stock Take Sale is on now. PNG's biggest sale of the year, and it's on throughout January. Grab yourself savings so big you won't believe your eyes. So bag yourself a bumper bargain before they disappear. The Jumbo Stock Take Sale at Brian Bell Home Centers. The sale is on now.
Do not play with death when your family goes out to sea. Do not get on an overloaded dinghy, or if alcohol is being consumed. Do not get on a dinghy in bad weather, or if there is no extra zoom or drinking water. Always wear a life jacket. Ensure your loved ones return safely when going out to sea. This message is brought to you by NMSA.
In our harsh and vibrant landscape, Dulux Weather Shield is the perfect choice to protect your building against everything Mother Nature throws at it. Worth doing, worth Dulux.
Hi, with the help of Palmolive Naturals shampoo and conditioner, with these 3 quick and easy tips, I'm going to show you that more natural, beautiful hair is achievable. Step 1, massage your scalp during washing with shampoo. Step 2, apply conditioner to the tips of your hair. Step 3, gently towel dry your hair. There you have it. For natural, beautiful hair, use Palmolive Natural shampoo and conditioner. Have a great hair day.
On Olsem 1M, Monday at 7 p.m.
We now take you to Collingwood Bay in Tufi, Oro Province.
Logging operations at Waningla, which is close to where we are, and that is a threat to us.
If they have taken that issue about illegal logging to court for the last 20 years, that's an indication.
Traditional land should never be sold. The Lands Department has a terrible track record of protecting land.
On Olsem 1M, Monday, 7 p.m. Welcome back to National EMTV News. When normal business hours come to an end, a group of youths in the nation's capital gather to begin their evening voluntary work. This has been happening for almost 6 months now in the heart of Port Moresby's busy business district of Boroko. About 60 youth are keeping the streets of Boroko clean and safe for the public.
Resident lawyer na all man marriage sleep lawyer, even all business all owners na all officers one time all workman marrying ko kamli all can free na mamas na yumi can start.
The program comes under the National Capital District Commission's Clean Safe City project. But it's not just cleaning the environment, they also provide public safety and become a second eye for city police. Coordinator Samuel Mare says this has seen a decrease in petty crimes and other illegal activities.
Something
The Boroko youth begin their shift at 5 p.m. and continue into the early hours of the morning when another group takes over. The youth coordinator believes working together will not only make Boroko a safe, clean and trouble-free zone, but see respect, ownership and responsibility among the public who regularly visit the Boroko area.
Once you change in one city, and people are looking for place by change. Now I read man marry by change. Now you man marry to positive lifestyle on by we can look beyond law or life law.
Jacob Pava Jr., National EMTV News.
Thousands of Brian Bell's customer credit service members across the country will now experience a fast turnover in consumer financing loans. Brian Bell today announced this new long-term partnership arrangement with PNG financial institution FinCorp, which will come into effect in March.
We're going into a partnership arrangement, and I guess that's underpinned by a much stronger and robust capability that FinCorp offer and provide Brian Bell Group. So there should be just lots more benefits to our customers and to our team members going forward.
Brian Bell Group's financing arm, known as Customer Credit Service, started as a way for Brian Bell members to finance small purchases. It has grown strongly over the years, further expanding into consumer financing loans. Last year, the group undertook a review of the business and looked at different possibilities to enhance its capabilities and accelerate in growth.
In order to meet both of those expectations, we've decided to go to market and form a new strategic partnership and relationship with FinCorp.
Through this new partnership with FinCorp, the loan process that took almost 3 to 7 days will now be cut down to an approval and process time of 24 hours.
With their platform and their business capability to improve loan processing time, technology improvements, and essentially offering us new sources and market opportunities to promote our business through small finance loans.
This type of partnership is not unique for a major retailer like Brian Bell, but offers great value in areas like improved technology, process efficiencies, speed, and fast turnaround times. FinCorp is confident that this partnership will benefit CCS members greatly.
We basically just take over the processing, and hopefully, because we do this every day, we don't do anything else but do lending, that the clients will see a faster service, I suppose, at the end of the day, but also making sure that the rigours of lending continues.
There will be no visible changes within the stores, only roles made easier through the professional support and new systems provided by FinCorp. Lilian Superakinea, National EMTV News.
Maprik MP John Simon has announced a new passenger and cargo ship for the people of Maprik and other CIPIC provinces. The vessel will be operating between Wewak and Vanimo and across the border to Jayapura in Indonesia. The member said the ship will help increase investment opportunities and boost the economy of Maprik district as well as the 2 CIPIC provinces.
The vessel MV Ocean Quest has big spacious rooms for passengers and crews and can carry up to 150 passengers and over 100 tons of cargoes. The vessel will be operating between the East and West CIPIC provinces and across the border to Jayapura. Maprik MP John Simon says poor road conditions have always been a big problem for his people who travel frequently across the border. The vessel will now give them another option.
The 3 provincial capitals like Vanimo, Wewak and Jayapura, there's an understanding there. So we've got our mayors and members been traveling between the 3 provinces, but we'd like to get the link done between the 2 provinces and Jayapura.
The vessel will be operating under a commercial arrangement with a businessman from Maprik. It will be managed by Maprik Investment Limited, a business arm established by the district. Simon says with the government's initiative to open up free trade between Papua New Guinea and Indonesia, the vessel will be a crucial link.
And we have a lot of economic activities going on, especially with vanilla and cocoa activities. And we'd like to break into the market on the other side. As I said already, the economy on the other side is much bigger than Papua New Guinea economy. But we need to open this gap up. We've been talking about it.
The member said with Indonesia being a much bigger economy than PNG, the service will allow for more investment opportunities for the 2 CIPIC provinces as well as Indonesia. He also called on the government to support them in opening up free trade between the 2 countries.
I'd like to ask the other members as well, including the provincial government in East CIPIC and West CIPIC, to also support. And let's take this as a first initiative and see how we go by supporting it. That could open up the doors.
Rayon Lakingu, National EMTV News.
This is Wednesday's news. We take a look at what's happening overseas when we return. Stay tuned.
Go back to school with great deals from Theodist. Buy one backpack and get the second one at 50% off. Also offering 20% off on all Diodora school shoes. Spend 120 and receive a 10 kina free gift card. But that's not all. Buy a HP laptop and get a wireless printer plus a 50 kina gift card free. So what are you waiting for?
Theodist, for all your school stationery.
Technology is constantly evolving, creating opportunities to grow and connect globally. Telecom PNG provides you with the best innovative and flexible solutions. Our wide-ranging product portfolio includes fixed line business system, fixed broadband internet service, Metro Fiber network, VSAT service.
You can trust us to take care of your business solution needs.
Telecom PNG, always there.
As PNG's only ISO-accredited bulk haulage operator, IPI Transport guarantees the delivery of your critical cargo. Equipped with state-of-the-art GPS tracking systems and backed by an experienced team, you can rely on IPI Transport, part of the IPI group of companies.
I love the way you taste.
I love the easy meal.
I love family dinner time.
I love my true guy.
I love the quality.
I love the yummy smell.
I love the energy and strength.
I love my true kind.
So many reasons, all of us agreeing. So put on your t-shirts and let's all sing.
I love my true guy.
I love my true guy.
I love my true guy.
Let's sing it again. I love my true guy.
I love my true guy.
I love my true guy. PNG's rice, the very best rice. Let's we all love a true guy.
This weekend, the HSBC Rugby Sevens is back again. Catch all the action live from Sydney starting at 8 a.m. The HSBC Rugby Sevens, live and free on your number one to watch, EMTV.
Welcome back to National EMTV News. Turning overseas now, Venezuela's self-declared interim leader, Juan Guaido, says his movement to oust Maduro is gaining momentum and is calling for massive rallies this week. The military defectors are calling on the US Trump administration to arm them.
Hunger often explodes as rage on Venezuela's streets, but it's not ousted Maduro's government as the military generals have their backs.
Hemos jurado morir.
The defence minister tweeted his soldiers would die for the government. Yet, while the rank and file express support in videos like this, they tell us they're suffering like everyone else.
Al presidente Juan Guaidó.
Some Venezuelan officers have even defected and, outside the country, have appealed on TV for a military uprising. But their supporters haven't reached critical mass, and now they tell us they want the White House to arm them. As Venezuelan soldiers, we're making a request to the US, he says, to support us in logistical terms with communication, with weapons, so we can realize Venezuelan freedom. We're not saying we need only US support, but also from Brazil, Colombia, Peru, all brother countries that are against this dictatorship. They show me the WhatsApp groups plotting rebellion they hope reach thousands of soldiers. But they also rejected any possible military intervention by US forces themselves. We don't want a foreign government invading our country, he says. If we need an incursion, it has to be by Venezuelan soldiers who really want to free Venezuela. Now we're unifying all those military groups working towards freedom to create a really big one that can be decisive. The appeal for US help comes after military uprisings have seen little success so far. This group of soldiers in Caracas over a week ago staged a rebellion that was short-lived and ended in their reported arrest. In a basement car park in Caracas, I meet a serving soldier, afraid to be identified as he spoke of the chance of an uprising. There are soldiers in every unit, he says, that are willing to rise up in arms. They're preparing themselves and learning from past mistakes. They're waiting for the right moment so they can hit even harder so people feel it. A few units are missing weapons and ammunition too, taken for this purpose. Past operations have failed because the higher-ranking officers were against it. They control every area still, and if an uprising happens, it's swiftly neutralized.
No podemos seguir siendo indiferentes.
But he's heard messages to rise up from defectors and says they do inspire. It's a very positive message, he says, because somehow they give us hope. They are outside Venezuela, but feed our soul, inspire us. Yet in the army for now, as elsewhere in Venezuela, it's a handful of elite, keeping down many below them.
With just 2 months until Brexit, the British Prime Minister is back begging the EU for a better deal. MPs voting to back her withdrawal plan if she gets revised terms on Ireland's future that would avoid a chaotic no-deal divorce. But there's one big problem. The EU says it's done talking.
Tensions spilling over outside Westminster as Brexit divides the people. Inside Parliament, fear may be uniting the politicians. Today voting on 7 proposed amendments to Theresa May's Brexit plan, and one appears to have broken the stalemate.
The ayes to the right, 317. The noes to the left, 301.
Lawmakers ordering the PM to throw herself at the mercy of the European Union to plead for changes to the Irish border backstop. It's the part of the withdrawal agreement which bans a physical border between Ireland's north and south, and it's the main stumbling block for MPs. She needs to show Europe that most MPs agree on the way forward.
It is now clear that there is a route that can secure a substantial and sustainable majority in this House for leaving the EU with a deal.
But she'll face a colder reception in Brussels than the icy blast hitting Britain right now. The EU again sticking its heels in, saying there will be no renegotiation.
The noes to the left, 310.
One issue is no longer up for debate, though. Most MPs confirming they don't want a no-deal divorce. But with just 2 months until the deadline, no Irish border alternatives or signs that the EU will budge, no deal, and the chaos it brings is still very much an option.
What tonight's votes show is that the resistance to Theresa May's deal is reducing, and that getting a majority sometime in the future for her deal may not be quite the impossible task some said it would be a fortnight ago.
While the Prime Minister and her deal live to see another day, the clock keeps ticking.
America is set to shiver in a once-in-a-generation deep freeze, bringing with it life-threatening temperatures. A state of emergency has been declared in several states, with about 3/4 of the country now bracing for extreme cold. The wind chill in Minneapolis has forecast a plunge to 46 degrees. It'll reach 45 degrees in Chicago.
Tonight, whiteout conditions from lake-effect snow sending drivers sliding all over a Michigan highway.
M6 westbound at Kalamazoo reported multiple semis, at least 10 vehicles involved.
This multi-car wreck pinning some inside their vehicles, at least 7 taken to the hospital. That blinding lake-effect snow is supercharged by Arctic air that's pouring into the lower 48 like it hasn't in decades. Chicago forecasting a wind chill of 50 below zero tomorrow. Frostbite can begin in 5 minutes.
Your extremities, your fingers, your toes, your ears, your nose, those are the areas most affected in short amount of time. We're talking minutes.
Anyone who has to work outside, like these Minneapolis firefighters, at risk.
Just to give you an idea of how cold it is, look at this. They take off their helmet and the steam just pours off of them.
Our Eva Pilgrim is also in Minneapolis.
Right now the feels like temperature is minus 38 degrees. It's so cold that it's hard to even talk if you've been out here for any amount of time. Dangerously cold. You can see on our thermal camera, even with 4 layers of clothes on, the heat is still escaping out of my coat anywhere it can.
Authorities warning drivers be prepared and make sure your car's tank is at least half full so fuel lines don't freeze.
I would suggest getting a blanket, extra set of clothing, maybe an alternative battery source for your phone.
They also warn that cell phones can stop working in extreme cold and medications like insulin can lose effectiveness if they freeze.
You're watching National EMTV News. This Wednesday. We go for a break. When we come back, some sporting updates in Trukai Sports. Stay tuned.
Come on and get down to the MEGA Randall Group Warehouse Sale. MEGA with crazy prices, all stock must go, and it's on at the Home Center Gordon's, you know. Come on down to the Bridewell Group Mega Warehouse Sale with crazy bargains to be had from the 19th of Jan to the 3rd of Feb. It's all happening at the warehouse behind Bridewell Home Center's Gordon's. Follow the signs and come on and get down to the MEGA Bridewell Group Warehouse Sale. MEGA.
Public awareness from IRC, payment due dates for goods and services tax, 21st of the month. Salary and wages tax, 7th of the month. Company income tax, 30 days after notice of assessment. Personal income tax, 30 days after notice of assessment. Stamp duty due on assessment are the withholding taxes on declaration.
Lodge appropriate tax return which is also due on the due date as the payment date. Payment methods include FPOS. All bank debit cards are accepted at FPOS terminals at our regional centers and provincial offices. Credit cards are not accepted. Bill pay. IRC bill and name is Internal Revenue Commission, code 11628. EFT direct payment. Bank credit transfer application, bank check, bank draft. IRC is no longer accepting personal company check payments. You must include your TIN and name, tax being paid, tax period, payment date and amount, your electronic payment receipt. For more information on making tax payments or to obtain copies of your receipts, call 322-6548 or 322-6773 or visit www.irc.gov.pg.
This message is authorized by the Commissioner General, IRC.
In our harsh and vibrant landscape, Dulux Weather Shield is the perfect choice to protect your building against everything Mother Nature throws at it. Worth doing, worth Dulux.
As you may know by now, my name is Steve Woodhouse. I am an agronomist and a passionate promoter of agriculture in Papua New Guinea.
So this is the Hagen baby banana?
Not only as a sustainable industry, but also as a way of life for the people of this unique country. While for centuries the agriculture sector moved at a very slow pace, climate change is requiring much faster action.
Experts say that we have until 2030.
Scientists say they're already the results of the globe warming.
We must catch up sooner rather than later, before it is too late.
With this in mind, I want you to come with me, as we will meet with the people who are shaping the future of this land. And I promise you, it will be a unique journey.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. We begin with Rugby League, and with the cancellation of the trial match against the Brisbane Broncos, the SPPNG Hunters have no other choice but to form two teams to take on each other in 3 trial matches.
No trial match, not a problem. The SPPNG Hunters, who are in their 9th week of training, will be turning to each other for a competitive edge. Mate against mate for a shot at the Hunter starting lineup.
Yeah, so the trial game's no longer happening, so so that means we only have to, just train, lift our, training a bit more. Next 3 weeks we'll be playing opposed sessions, So we've got plans for the post-seasons.
The train-on squad of 30 players, enough to make up 2 teams, with match intensity to increase over a 3-week period.
We have enough players there to fill up 2 13 sides. So we'll be playing a 40-minute post-season next week. The week after we play a 60-minute post, and 3rd week of Feb we play full 80 minutes of post-season. So
Coach Michael Marum was at the helm, pointing out instructions, watching his players closely. Training more towards defense and attack. The 30 players who were in training yesterday are not in the final squad. The Hunters coaching and team management deciding to keep all the players in shape, not wanting to let 8 weeks of intense training go to waste.
Yeah, that should be enough to get us through, preparing us for that first round. So, and again, just a lot of work to be done on these new players, combinations. Trial game will be good for us, but that's something we got no control over. So yeah.
The team is set to drop a few players before the start of the season on March 9.
Yeah, some players still have to leave camp. We decided to just stick with the 31 because the Diesel Cup season won't start till April. So yeah, if we release players now, that means we're going to be sending them back to local clubs. They might not be training right. So we put in a good 8 weeks in them already. So it's probably not wise to send them away too early. So.
Fidelis Sukina, National EMTV Sports.
Still on Rugby League, PRK Mendy Muruks have announced a head coach and new board members. The new team also announced its 63-man train-on squad, which will later be trimmed down to 35. Chairman Isaac Joseph says the board is confident that the coach, Glenn Nami, will help boost player performance.
The appointment of new executives for the 2019 season is expected to lead the PRK Mendy Muruks in the right direction. The formal announcement of the new board of directors included the new franchise manager, Eric Alom, Chairman Isaac Joseph, and coach Glenn Nami. Chairman Joseph is confident Nami will bring invaluable experience and knowledge of football in building a winning rugby league team.
Even with us today, we have new management with Eric leading us. We even have Glenn Nami today. He's our new coach. Because our focus today is to really develop a rugby league bag in Mendy and Southern Islands. So
Joseph says the new management will be impartial and committed to delivering results both on and off the field.
2019 is the beginning of a new journey for Mendy Muruks. The history has been written. We've been through some low points. So 2019 is about restarting the journey. It's about starting fresh. And part of that is the changes to the management.
2018 Goroka Lahani's premiership winning coach and former PNG Kumul Glenn Nami will head the new and improved Southern Highlands provincial flagship team this season.
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to thank the PRK Mendy Muruks board and sponsors and everyone that's behind the team. Thank you for the opportunity. I am looking forward to be part of the development program in the province.
Chairman Joseph was very grateful to the team's major sponsor.
PRK, we have here Director Mark Sakai, who's been with us for about 12 or 13 years as the major sponsor. We know that the economy is not doing good, but to really stand with us over this long period of time, on behalf of the people of Southern Islands and PRK Mendy Muruks, fans and supporters, I want to take this opportunity to thank them.
The train-on squad will travel to Mendy in preparations for the commencement of training and trials on Monday, February 4th. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
To rugby union now, the ICTSI South Pacific Palais are gearing up for their first hit-out against New Zealand in the HSBC 7's Sydney leg on Friday. The Palais have been preparing well since qualifying for the HSBC 7 series last year.
PNG has been placed in Pool A against the New Zealand Black Ferns, England and France. The Black Ferns are the current Rugby World Cup Sevens champions and will face PNG in their first match on Friday at 12 p.m. PNG will be going into the tournament as heavy underdogs, but are sure to put up an impressive performance and maybe even cause some big upsets. The Palais have had 3 high-performance training camps, 2 in Port Moresby and 1 in Sydney. PNG coach Paul Tietjens has now put together a consistent team. The Palais team has a good mixture of pace, speed and size, giving them a good balance across the field. It's players like Kimi Rapila and Debbie Kaure who possess a lot of pace and size. Gemma Schnobelt, Cassandra Sampson, Fatima Rama and Taiva Lavai have been considered game breakers if they play at their best. PNG will play New Zealand in the first match on Friday at 12 p.m, the second match against England at 2:30 p.m, and the last match against France at 5:15 p.m. All these matches can be watched live on MTV. Elijah Levet, National MTV Sports.
Don't go anywhere, we'll have more of Trukai Sports after these messages. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Share the fun with Big Boy Gum and enjoy the colorful thrill. Flavor, surprise, and chewy excitement. You feel happy, you know you will. Have some fun, old or young, yeah. On everyone, whoa. Go Big Boy Bubble Gum.
Hi, with the help of Palmolive Naturals shampoo and conditioner, with these 3 quick and easy tips, I'm going to show you that more natural, beautiful hair is achievable. Step 1, massage your scalp during washing with shampoo. Step 2, apply conditioner to the tips of your hair. Step 3, gently towel dry your hair. There you have it. For natural, beautiful hair, use Palmolive Naturals shampoo and conditioner. Have a great hair day.
No can time long pilai one time die. Time family belong you, e go other side long solwara. No can kalap long dingi where emi pull up pinis or kalap suppose only drink beer. No can kalap suppose whether e bagger up or no got extra zoom or wara belong drink is tap. All get a time wear him life jacket. Sekim suppose one top belong you e come back alright. Time only go other side long solwara. This fella talk save e come long NMSA.
Men's BBL. Tonight at 7 p.m, Melbourne Renegades will take on Sydney Thunder. Thursday, 8 p.m, Hobart Hurricanes will go up against Adelaide Strikers. 7:30 p.m. on Friday, Brisbane Heat versus Perth Scorchers. Men's BBL, right here on your number 1 to watch, MTV.
I love the way you taste.
I love the easy meal.
I love family dinner time.
I love my true guy.
I love the quality. I love the yummy smell.
I love the energy and strength.
I love my true guy.
So many reasons, all of us agreeing. So put on your t-shirts and let's all sing.
I love my true guy.
I love my true guy.
I love my true guy.
Adhered to by associations affiliated to PNGFA, directives have been issued to PNGFA to form a committee to address football standards in the country. Fideli Sukena with the details.
Soccer associations in Papua New Guinea, currently part of the Papua New Guinea Football Association, number 18. Some of these associations are not meeting operational requirements set by PNGFA for them to be even considered as associations to begin with. No names have been mentioned, but it is confirmed.
Yeah, basically you need to have a competition, okay? All right, you need to have a structure. You need to have a youth competition. Or make sure that you're having your meetings in terms of like when you come up with 4 years, you need to have a term. Or make sure that a competition running and you know that as a president or executive, you know that the association is functioning. If it's not functioning, then we have an issue.
FIFA, the world governing body of soccer, sets standards. That's at all levels, but not all can be met by member associations affiliated to the PNGFA. PNGFA President John Capinato, when taking office, vowed to spread soccer to the four corners of Papua New Guinea. Fixing issues of standards in soccer is right up there with the priorities.
The clubs or association that needs proper field, proper changing room, proper toilets and all that, that's FIFA standard. So right now, some of them are suffering because of no field and no that. So that's one of the tasks that we're all going to work through to try and bring that to them.
FIFA has issued a directive to PNGFA to form a committee to hear the concerns of associations which arise, a committee that had been missing for the last decade and a half in PNGFA.
So what FIFA has directed us now is to set up our judiciary committees. For the last 12, 16 years, we did not set up any juries, where they could listen to complaints or grudges, all that, none.
Fidelis Sukina, National EMTV Sports.
Two rugby sevens abroad, top of the World Series table and now regularly beating the best. The USA is looming as a serious threat at rugby sevens at next year's Tokyo Olympics. They head into this weekend's round of the World Series in Sydney, having reached the final 3 successive tournaments, and the All Black Sevens are growing increasingly wary of Team USA.
Into the final in Hamilton at New Zealand's expense.
People talked about USA as a sleeping giant, and I suppose now they're probably not asleep.
Preparing to fly out to the Sydney leg of the World Series, admission from the All Black Sevens that the Eagles have landed.
At this stage of the year, they're the team to beat, so they proved probably in Hamilton that on the day were better than us.
If you do let them play to their strength, they can, as I said before, they can gain their momentum and they can punish you in a split second.
The USA have made 3 finals in a row this season and sit equal with last week's champions Fiji at the top of the standings, a spot New Zealand once saw as a birthright.
It's probably not second nature like it is for the New Zealanders, but it's getting there.
Getting there has taken a while. The USA last won Olympics rugby gold a century ago, but they're making up for lost time, using the World Sevens as a springboard for Tokyo next year. But New Zealand aim to stop them.
The players are working hard to make sure that come Tokyo we're probably a little bit more organised than the previous Olympics.
And that's it for Trukai Sports. Your weather details for the next 24 hours coming up next. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
Introducing the new Tisa Yumi card for members. Call into your local branch and complete a Yumi card account application. Tisa Yumi card is so convenient. Now you can purchase goods and withdraw cash from BSP FPOS and ATM machines in PNG. Pay for school fees. Pay medical bills. In fact, anything you need where debit cards are accepted.
Tisa Savings and Loan Society.
Public awareness from IRC, payment due dates for goods and services tax, 21st of the month. Salary and wages tax, 7th of the month. Company income tax, 30 days after notice of assessment. Personal income tax, 30 days after notice of assessment. Stamp duty, due on assessment, are the withholding taxes on declaration.
Lodge appropriate tax return which is also due on the due date as the payment date. Payment methods include FPOS. All bank debit cards are accepted at FPOS terminals at our regional centers and provincial offices. Credit cards are not accepted. Bill pay. IRC biller name is Internal Revenue Commission, code 11628. EFT direct payment. Bank credit transfer application, bank check, bank draft. IRC is no longer accepting personal company check payments. You must include your TIN and name, tax being paid, tax period, payment date and amount, your electronic payment receipt. For more information on making tax payments or to obtain copies of your receipts, call 322-6548 or 322-6773 or visit www.irc.gov.pg.
This message is authorized by the Commissioner General, IRC.
Are you serious? Is this the fastest you can go?
Get out of here. Internet speed with Telecom PNG. I repeat, Telecom PNG is the fastest. The fastest here in PNG. So connect today to experience the difference. Telecom PNG, always there.
It's back again on EMTV. Real people, real battles, and great stories. 60 Minutes, Sunday, February 3rd, right here on EMTV.
In our harsh and vibrant landscape, Dulux Weather Shield is the perfect choice to protect your building against everything Mother Nature throws at it. Worth doing, worth Dulux.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
A look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region. Some showers expected in Daru, a shower or two in Port Moresby, Kerma, Alotau and Popondetta. To the Momasa regions, a shower or two in Lae, Wau, Medang, Wewak and Vanimo with a top of 31 degrees. To the New Guinea Islands region, a top of 31 in Lorangau and a shower or two expected over the next 24 hours. The same as well for Kavieng, Kokopo, Rabaul, Kimbe and Buka. And finally, in the Highlands region, the major centres, Mount Hagen, Goroka and Kundiawa can expect a shower or two over the next 24 hours with a top temperature of 25 degrees, 24 and a shower or two for Mendi and Wabeg.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
And that's how it is for news, sport and weather for today, Wednesday, the 30th of January 2019. On behalf of the news team right around the country, pleasant viewing. Good night.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Paradise Foods and Paradise Beverages.
Papua New Guinea